Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic part 1. Which is what if Naruto was raised as a weapon and became Konoha's greatest nightmare part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. A bestial roar cried out in the night. On the night of the 10th of October, the Kyuubi no Kitsune was released from its own host, Kushina Namikaze ne Uzumaki due to her weakness at childbirth and Madara Uchiha's meddling affairs. Her secret husband, Minato Namikaze faced off with the beast with his summon, Gamabunta, the toad boss. He shared one last look at the dark-haired indigo-eyed boy in his arms. I am sorry, little one. I know that I am being selfish, but I can't afford to seal the Kyuubi within my own daughter, Tokiko. I fear that madman, Madara Uchiha will come at Tokiko's childbirth to take it, but it will be much harder to take it from you. Naruto. Then Minato turned to look at the Kyuubi and said, I am sorry, Kyuubi-san, but it is time to go back to where you belong. Shiki Fujin. There was a brief flash of light and both Minato Namikaze and the Kyuubi no Kitsune were dead physically, but a piece of Minato's spirit along with the Kyuubi were sealed inside of the newly named Naruto. As Naruto grew up, he became aware of the hatred surrounding him fairly quickly. For 6 years, he was forced to endure poisonings, beatings, hate-filled glares, attempted murder, vandalism of his apartment. Most of them were organized by the Anbu Black Ops leading by Inu, the Uchiha clan, some of the Chunin and the worst of them all, Kushina Namikaze. On the eve of his 7th birthday, Naruto began to do his yearly running away from the mob. The boy had already suffered scars from his past mob attacks considering that they used everything that would keep the scars permanently. His prominent ones were the Roman numeral of the number 9 scar just below his collarbone and the large cross scar on his abdomen. HMPH, idiots, can't seem to figure out the difference between a kunai and a scroll. Naruto thought as he ran away, it is all that old man's fault. He just had to tell the damn civilian council, the ninja and especially the wife of the person who sealed the Kyuubi inside of me. The boy dodged a thrown kunai that embedded itself into the wall he was previously at. The cries of Kyuubi and murderer was heard behind him, increasingly getting closer and louder, ringing throughout the courtyard. Hardly the Anbu helped his misfortune. Only 4 of the Anbu he could trust, Kuma, Itachi, Neko and Ukami, and unfortunately, they were led by their commander, Inu. It just so happened that they were on duty once again. Damn it, they are getting smarter. Bet Inu Tem told how to get past the maze. I need to, Naruto said as he panted hard. His monologue was stopped abruptly due to the fact that 2 kunai were thrown and lodged into Naruto's back, causing the young kid to fall to the ground hard. Arg, damn, Naruto said as he reached behind him to yank out the kunai in his back and take out the tanto and kunai in his legs while the mob surrounded him. Any last words, demon? One of the Chunin said with a sneer on his face. Naruto backed up to the wall and replied, yeah, a few things. 1, you all are idiots, and 2, I hope that you all rot in hell. The Chunin raised his kunai and Naruto watched as the kunai descended on him, but it bounced off with a loud clang. What? The Chunin said as he tried again and again. This time Naruto peered and caught the outline of the thing protecting him. It was a weapon, a shield. He reached forward to grab it and then he noticed that there were lances and other weapons were surrounding him. It is the Kyuubi. The mob backed up as the Jinchuriki thought to himself, what power is this? Is this the Kyuubi's power? Naruto let go of the shield and it returned in place with the others as Naruto confirmed, no. It is not the Kyuubi's power. If it was then the Anbu would be on me. It is my power and mine alone. Naruto glared at the mob and shouted, now, moon, shine down. Naruto was covered with a blue-green eerie light and his facial appearance became feral and as a result, he became manic and bestial. And now, move aside. The Jinchuriki took the claymore and ran at the crowd with a loud cry. With great strength augmented by the moon, he was able to lift it and caused shockwaves of energy on the floor, gravely injuring the ninjas and civilians alike. Screams of pain, agony and pleas of mercy were heard as Naruto watched the slaughter and blood ran from the alleyway. Suddenly the Sandaime came to the scene, along with Inu, Neko and Itachi flanking him. Naruto, the old man began to say until Naruto interrupted in a cold voice, you are late, old man, maybe you should retire if you are this slow at protecting people. Inu growled out, you show respect to the Hokage, you little brat. I give respect to people who have earned it, only two of you here in front of me have done so. You nor the old geezer have not earned the respect to call you anything, to me, you are just dirt. The Jinchuriki then turned to Neko and Itachi and smiled at them. Hello, Neko-san, and Itachi-san, nice to meet you two again, although I wished that they were better circumstances. Neko gave him a hug and said, nice to see you two again, Naruto, happy birthday, though I wish it was better. Naruto said, thanks. Sarutobi decided to kill the moment as he asked, what was that in the alley, Naruto? Everyone here is dead except you, why is that? Instantly Naruto lost his smile and glared at him, it is none of your concern and why the sudden interest, Sarutobi? Is it the fact that I have shown an interesting ability that you will mention to the council in an effort to make me a breeding factory or to somehow control my actions as your personal weapon? Sarutobi flinched a bit at the ice in Naruto's voice and eyes as the boy continued, I think not, from now on, I will defend myself and anyone who attacks me for no reason will be persecuted and disposed off on their family's doorsteps. If anyone can get away with attempted murder, then so can I. Naruto, Sarutobi began, but Naruto interrupted him once again, you have no right to call me like you know me so familiarly, from now on, my name is Rutaxan and you will tell the council to address me as this until I deem people worthy of calling me that. I don't see a Hokage or the god of shinobi, I see a pathetic old man being bossed around by a weak council whose power have no jurisdiction over shinobi affairs. Inu had enough and sprang at Naruto, only for the boy's hidden lances to appear to pierce every vital organ and surround the Hokage's head. So this is how you did it, Sarutobi thought to himself. That goes double for you, Inu, this is your first and only warning and if you don't follow it, then I will kill you and those precious to you before your very eyes without shedding a tear. Naruto growled out. Inu bristled in anger as he slowly backed down and Naruto made his weapons disappear. He picked up the two kunai and tanto that stabbed him and walked back to his apartment. Sarutobi sighed and Neko asked, permission to speak freely, Hokage-sama. Sarutobi heard the laced venom in Neko's tone and replied, permission granted. Just goes to show that you and this villager have ed up badly. The boy had no choice whatsoever in being the vessel of the Kyuubi no Kitsune and yet this village, his own village has tried to kill him many times since he could walk. Your idiocy of trying to make Naruto loyal to this damn village, was an utterly stupid move that you made, especially knowing that your jack of an Anbu commander is one of the many people who hates the kid for the Kyuubi and enjoyed watching him suffer, foolishly believing that he is a demon. Inu protested, I have not. Wham! Inu was sent flying into the fence, courtesy of Itachi sending him a haymaker across the face with blinding speed. That is some bullshit you pulled out of your. Once you were aiming to kill the boy with that cheap knockoff of a Rasengan until Kuma stopped you and gave him that cross scar on his abdomen. On another note, I am ashamed of my own family, especially the man that I call father, the young man yelled out, which was a rare event for him since he was usually stoic. Sarutobi said, Itachi, stand. No, Hokage-sama, I refuse to sit back any longer, knowing that this monster, this demon will harm Naruto. I demand you will IGN me as Naruto's guardians along with Ukami and Neko or I will withdraw myself from the Anbu program. You, Anbu, you will not demand me of anything at all, I am the Hokage, your superior. Itachi took off his mask and threw it at his feet, then consider that my resignation as an Anbu captain, I am sick and tired of you not protecting the vessel, Yondaime-sama set the seal to keep the Kyuubi at bay and if you mess with it, I am pretty sure that you will release the demon and I will make sure that it destroys this village. Inu said to Neko, stop him, Neko. No, I agree with Itachi. Hokage-sama has been too lenient with these villagers, he need to take action against this injustice. Sarutobi cursed inwardly, damn it, if I lose Itachi and Neko, then Kuma and Ukami will follow as well. Those four are the best at what they do and plus I need Itachi in case the Uchiha clan rebels against us. Damn it. The Hokage conceded defeat and said, fine, you and Neko will be his guardians. Best decision you have ever made in your second reign so far, Neko commented. But Hokage-sama, leave it be, Inu, He was serious with that threat of his, and we can't afford to have any lives destroyed like tonight. Plus those two are the only ones that he trusts now, and also the fact that Naruto's rage and anger will release the Kyuubi to have his revenge on his village. Get someone to clean this mess. Dismissed. Later that night, Naruto sat on his bed, looking at his newfound power. There were some interesting weapons such as 2 chakrams and 2 shining red clubs. He also noticed that he had gained some more weapons as well. I wonder what this power that I possess is, Naruto said to himself. Suddenly a voice said, I can tell you. What? Suddenly Naruto's world grew dark, and when he woke up a few minutes later, he found himself in a sewer. Great. Now I definitely killing the whole who thought it was funny to throw me in here. Actually, Naruto-san, this is your mind. Naruto looked up to see a gate, and behind that gate, there was a fox which had 9 tails. Ah, so you are the Kyuubi no Kitsune. Funny, I thought that you would be a bit bigger than that. Do you remember anything? Yes, I remember that the Yondaime was the one who sealed me into your body, but I don't understand it. I thought that I would be sealed into his daughter. I am guessing that he didn't want to seal it inside of his own flesh and blood because of his selfishness. But I could understand seeing that his child would have been raped on top of my experiences with the damn villagers and ignorant ninjas along with Iwa. Now what is this power that I hold? Why did you attack this village, and what is your true name? The Kyuubi replied, that power is your Kekkei Genkei, the nothingness. The previous wielders formed a group called Organization 13 and had no hearts. Their essence was destroyed and wandered until they found your ancestor. As you progressed, you will be able to control darkness and light itself to you. As to why I attacked, I was forced to attack this village, and regrettably I should have finished off this person after the first time he controlled me. His name is Madara Uchiha. His ambition is combine the Biju and create the Jubi to control the world as its Jinchuriki, and lastly my name is Tomomi. But that is impossible. Hashirama Senju fought Madara Uchiha and killed him. How did he survive? He has the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, the ultimate form of the Uchiha clan's bloodline, the Sharingan. He took his brother's eyes and implanted them inside of his own. Somehow he has made himself immortal. Naruto said, looks like I will have to thank him for making my life hell. Now since you have been inhabiting my body for the last 7 years, do you know the extent of my bloodline? Yes, your bloodline will gain 2 more weapons at random as you kill up to a total of 20 people. Looks like I will have to become a ninja. Why are you so willing to help? Because as much as I despise humans, I despise the ones who are stupid enough and find pleasure in attempting to murder an innocent child. Plus I believe that you are the only one who is capable of killing Madara Uchiha. One last thing, can you change into your human form? It is kind of hard to look up at you without straining my neck. Of course, she shifted with her chakra covering her body and shrank down to become a silver-haired woman with ruby-slitted eyes, wearing a warrior battle skirt. Picture Inner Mocha from Rosario plus Vampire wearing the Battle of Xena. Much better. Now if I didn't know any better. The Yondaime put a fail-safe seal in case that I just so happened to try and release you, nay. Tomomi nodded. Yes, but it is better to try to remove the seal outside of the villager than inside to cause a panic. Right. I will demand Sarutobi to leave this village or go into the forest of death, but first. Naruto said. Then he closed his eyes and the sewer changed into a forest full of trees, a lake, and a small cottage. He also compressed the seal into a choker with a blue diamond at the end to appear around Tomomi's neck along with the makeshift replicas of the Yondaime and Madara. There. Much better than before. Naruto commented. Arigoto gozaimasu. Tomomi replied as she looked in awe at the scenery. No problem, Tomomi, my mind was a little bit bleak to say the least. Now tomorrow, we will start to train, considering I believe that you know many styles in the art of Kenjutsu. And so Naruto, Rutaxan, X was born. Both Neko and Ukami took the boy from his apartment to live in their house and trained him in Kenjutsu since that was going to be Naruto's forte. With much pull, Sarutobi was able to let Naruto enter the academy to become a genin, and Naruto became more bitter at the village, especially when the incident known as the Uchiha clan massacre was known. Only the woman, children and the elderly were spared, and the one who had to carry out the deed was Itachi Uchiha, his mentor and former Anbu Itachi. Flashback Naruto entered the academy with an emotionless look on his face, mastered and perfected with the help of Itachi by playing poker. Looking at the CL mates, he noticed that most of them were clan heirs. His eyes narrowed as he saw a pink-haired girl strode in as he remembered when her mother and father would eagerly join in the annual mob attacks. He sat in an empty seal in the back by the corner next to the window, staying quiet and with his eyes closed. Then a brown-haired man with a birth scar on the bridge of his nose along with a silver-haired man with a believable kind smile on his face walked inside the CL room. Good morning, CL, I am Aruka Yumino and this is my I stand, Mizuki. We will be your teacher for the next 4 years. Now stand up and state your name, age, hobbies, likes, dislikes and dreams. I'm Sakura Haruno, 8, my hobbies are picking flowers and brushing my hair, my likes are Sasuke-kun, my parents and my little brother, Takeshi, my dislikes are girls who think that they can get my Sasuke-kun. My dream is to become a great kunoichi and win Sasuke's heart. Shoji Akamichi, 8, hobbies are helping in the kitchen and eating, my likes are my friend Shikamaru, food and barbecue chips, my dislikes are people who hurt others, people who makes fun of my weight, people who judge others before getting to know them properly and eating the last piece of meat. My dream is to become the clan head of the Akamichi clan. Ino Yamanaka, 8, my hobbies are working in the flower shop, my likes are my family and Sasuke-kun, my dislikes are girls who try to steal Sasuke-kun away from me, my dream is to become the head of the Yamanaka clan, a great interrogator and marry Sasuke-kun. Yan, troublesome, Shikamaru Nara, 8, my hobbies are playing shogi, sleeping and looking at clouds, my likes are my friend Choji, sleeping and looking at clouds, my dislikes are troublesome people and people who judge others by the cover of the book, my dream is to become a jonin, marry an average girl and have 2 kids, a girl and a boy. Yahoo, Kiba Inuzuka, 8, my hobbies is playing with my dog, Akamaru, my likes are my mother and my clan as well as Akamaru, my dislikes are my older sister, my dream is to be the head of the Inuzuka clan and be the strongest. Shino Aburame, 8, my hobbies are collecting bugs and training, my likes are my colony, my clan and training, my dislikes are insults, arrogance and judgers. My dream is to be the head of my clan. Hinata Hyuga, 8, my hobbies are flower pressing, cooking and training, my likes are the moon and cinnamon buns, my dislikes are seals, judgers and arrogance. My dream is to be as strong as my father, but as kind as my mother. Sasuke Uchiha, 9, my hobbies are training with my brother, my likes are tomatoes, my brother, a certain girl, spicy food and my clan. My dislikes are sweets, fangirls and demons, my dream is to become stronger than my brother and father. The CL grew quiet after the fact that Aruka had to use his patented big head jutsu to shut up the girls from squealing over Sasuke, overlooking the fact that he specifically said that he hated fangirls. Amy, 8, my hobbies are training, looking at the stars and dancing in the rain, my likes are chocolate and stargazing. My dislikes are girls who give kunoichi a bad name, arrogance, and people who judge others unknowingly. My dream is to become the strongest kunoichi ever. Tokiko Namikaze, 9, my hobbies are training and listening to storms, my likes are sweets and my family, my dislikes are the villagers and elders up to me and my dream is to usurp my mother and father's legacy and shadow. Rutaxin, 9, my hobbies involve training, my likes are my friends, who I will not name. I despise this village, the Uchiha clan except a few people who will remain unknown, Kushina Namikaze, Homura Mitokado, Kaharu Udatane, the Sandaime Hokage and most especially, the Yondaime. My dream is none of your concern. Whispers and murmurs danced around the room after Naruto sat down. Sasuke glared at him as well as his fangirls, but Tokiko looked at Naruto with a bit of pity and sadness. She knew about the Kyuubi no Kitsune and while she was taught to hate and avoid him by her mother, she couldn't. Due to the fact that her father left her a letter to find, explaining the whole situation in great detail that the Kyuubi and Naruto were separate entities and told her the true reason why the Kyuubi was not sealed inside of her to protect her innocence as well as the village and forgot to mention that his wife was the second Jinchuriki, but he was pressed for time. Naruto never knew about the looks that the people gave them and Yumed they were all the same, so he never noticed Tokiko's look of sadness. Well, then how about we do a bit of sparring? Uruka said. Everyone filed out of the room. The last one out was Naruto with Iruka and Mizuki behind him, watching him intently. The CL was eventually paired into groups of 2 and fortunately, Naruto was paired with Shino Aburame. The boy moved into his clan-style taijutsu and Naruto moved into his stance with his left fist near his face while his right one was about 6 inches away from it in a boxing stance. Shino decided to strike first and Naruto ducked as he tripped Shino, but the Aburame corrected himself and moved backwards. Shino then sent out a kick, but Naruto blocked it and sent out a punch. Only the Aburame caught it and flipped Naruto over to the side, but Naruto landed on his feet and swung Shino's arm to make the Aburame turn like a spin. The Aburame was able to land on his other foot and did the same to Naruto. The two continued like this, neither of them gaining the upper hand until they separated. You're good, Shino, but your taijutsu isn't effective without your kikaichu. You are correct, Rutaxin-san. Would you like to use your bloodline? Shino raised an eyebrow at Naruto's question and replied, but the senseis. Naruto interrupted, a true shinobi uses everything at his disposal to win a battle. True, there are some honorable ninja in the world, but the majority follows the previous rule. That is how wars are fought and won. Now leave the senseis to me, I will worry about them. Shino reluctantly nodded and let his kikaichu slowly appear from his sleeves. Naruto looked at them in an interesting matter. So the Aburame clan uses the kikaichu to coexist in their bodies, he murmured. Tell me, are there any other clans that uses the same concept as you? Yes, the Kamizuru clan from Iwagakure. Naruto nodded and said, it's a shame that kids are afraid of you for that. I think you will go far with your bloodline, but remember, relying solely on your bloodline will cause dependency and hinder you in the near future. Then a shimmer of GL flashed in front of Naruto and the Jinchuriki said, Koi. Shino attacked by directing his kikaichu at Naruto, but the kikaichu were not able to get through. Mizuki came over and said, Rutaxin, Shino, you are not supposed to be using advanced techniques in your sparring, I am afraid that I have to give you 2 detention. Actually, sensei, I was just having Shino demonstrate the true aspect of a ninja. A ninja will use every advantage that he or she has to win, am I correct, Mizuki-san? Yes, but, therefore, though there are maybe honorable ninja, but there are most cases that ninja will retort to seduction, bloodlines, jutsu and weakness exploitation, which refute my statement. The whispers came as Mizuki walked away in emberment. I guess if you two are doing that, I can't give you detention on those grounds. Very good for you two to think about that scenario, see carry on. Shino turned to Naruto in surprise, who only winked at him. If you are wondering why your kikaichu could not seem to reach me, here is the reason. Naruto made his nothingness bloodline to appear briefly. That was my bloodline, the nothingness. I can use these unique weapons to shield me or attack with a simple command from my mind. I can also hold weapons to attack a person, levitate or even teleport much like the Hiraishin. Shino replied, impressive, Rutaxin. Please, call me Naruto. I feel that I can trust you, Shino, with my real name and my bloodline. Why, let's just say that I know what it feels like to have everyone avoid you for something different. Iruka said, okay, time to test your physical strength, you must run through this obstacle course. The CL spent the day running through it. Naruto had the highest score due to his run-ins with the mob, much to Sasuke and Sakura's displeasure. Then he strode home until he was stopped by Kuma. Hey, Kuma-san, what do you need? Sorry to bother you, Naruto-kun, but it appears that Hokage-sama has to decide to tell the esteemed council about your bloodline and they want to discuss it with you. Kuma spat out. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Well, then let's see if I can't cause a bit of chaos in the room. Kuma chid Naruto's shoulder and did the Konoha Shunshin to reach the council. So what do I owe the so great and powerful council this wonderful visit? Naruto said sarcastically. We just so happen to hear that you have a bloodline, Koharu said. And, Naruto said, and why didn't you or the Hokage inform us about this? Because it was none of your business, and since when have you care about me? Less than half of you don't care and several of you tried to kill me in the past, so far none of you have succeeded and never will. Kushina angrily shouted out, you will respect this council, boy. Naruto retorted, HMPH, like you respect your husband's last wish. Ha! This council has hardly done anything for me, yet you want respect. Like I said to Sarutobi a year ago, respect is earned, not given, and you have not earned it. The Namikaze bristled in anger. Leave my husband out of this. Former husband to be exact. It seems that I have struck a nerve, Lady Namikaze. Maybe you have realized that your idiot of a husband sacrificed a random child's life instead of sealing it into his own. He never realized that you along with this whole village would have praised her for it. Because of his stupidity, my life has been hell. Kushina jumped over the table to strike at Naruto, but the Jinchuriki allowed the kunai to clash against his shield of weapons. What is that? Fugaku asked, thinking of ways to get Naruto's bloodline to merge with Naruto's bloodline along with Uzumaki's life longevity and chakra capacity. It is none of your concern, Naruto replied coldly. Homura slammed his fist against the table. You will tell us or what? Revoke me from being a ninja. I can just go to Iwa or Kumo to become one since I would be a civilian. You don't really need me at all. The council's faces paled except the minor clan head and Hiashi at Naruto's statement. The Jinchuriki continued, unless this happens, I get access to the ninja stores, food stores, and get treatment like any respectable person. That last rule will be enforced by yours truly and him alone. This is the best deal I will and can offer you all. The civilian side began to cry out in outrage along with Kushina and Fugaku. Too bad, this is shinobi affairs and all of you owe me for holding the Kyuubi. The room grew still at Naruto's comment and Sarutobi stuttered, how? Come on, I practically said it earlier when I mentioned the coward formerly known as the Yondaime Hokage. Yes, I know about the Kyuubi, it would kind of sink in considering the mob shouting, let's kill the demon fox, all of the damn time. Good thing I killed the last mob. Instantly Homura shouted, you will be executed after we breed your bloodline. Try it, I could kill you in a blink of an eye, nobody but me can activate this bloodline, plus killing me means Kyuubi gets released. Now shut up and sit and spin on Kaharu's, back to my deal. Hiashi then spoke up, I agree with it. Kaharu hissed, Hiashi, I mean, Rutaxin-san is right, we all owe him our lives. Despite the fact that the sealing was not to his consent, we should all respect him as a human being. Furthermore, I believe that Rutaxin can be an aide to this village if he decides to stay. Inoichi piped up, the Yamanaka clan follows the Hyuga clan's statement. As do the Nara clan. As do the Akamichi clan. As do the Aburame clan. The Inazuka clan is in favor of the pup's deal. Sume said with a wolfishly grin. Kushina said, I can't believe this. How can you justify this unfair deal? How can you justify your husband to be selfish? He could have used Tokiko-chan for the sealing and you would have fought tooth and nail to protect her along with Kakashi, and all of Konoha would have protected her from even the Shinigami himself. Instead he chooses a random baby born on the same night as your daughter to seal the fox. In all, you should be shunned and Naruto should be revered. This deserves his vengeance against this village because of the crimes against him. Sume retorted hotly. Kushina replied, but he is a dem. Shing. Instantly two lances appeared, aiming at her heart and forehead. Finish that sentence. Come on, one more syllable, give me the reason to make you join your fool of a husband in the 9 levels of Makai. Naruto growled out. Wisely or out of sheer defiance, the Uzumaki Namikaze matriarch shut her mouth and Naruto made his own weapons disappear. The Namikaze clan disagrees. Kushina said, staring at Naruto in his blue eyes. The Uchiha clan declines. The Sarutobi clan declines. Like it makes a difference, Naruto said, goodbye, esteemed council, pray that we don't meet again, well, except the shinobi clans excluding the bitch, bastard and old monkey. Later that night, Itachi came into Naruto's room and whispered, Naruto. Yes, Itachi-ni-san, what is it? Itachi replied, I am afraid that is going to be the last time that I will see you or Yugao-chan again. What? Why? What has happened? My father was planning a coup d'etat. They also plan to use you as a weapon and breeder, so Homura, Kaharu and Sarutobi have ordered me to kill them. What about Danzo? He is good. He was able to spare the children, elderly and my mother. So stay strong and never give up, never back down. Watch over my stupid brother and try to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. Got it, Naruto Aniki. Naruto wiped away his tears and nodded. Alright, Itachi ni-san. Itachi gave Naruto his old tanto and said, also be careful and watch out for the council. I have left some incriminating evidence to help you against them along with your own. How did you? I trained you. I know how you operate a bit, thanks for helping. Naruto nodded silently and Itachi gave him a standard poke to the forehead and disappeared in a Kanshunshin. The last memory of Itachi in Naruto's mind was his soft smile, the only true smile that he showed to his brother, Naruto and Yugao. Flashback ends. The next day, Naruto returned to the academy and the latest gossip was what happened to Sasuke's family. Did you hear what happened to the Uchiha clan last night? No, what happened? I heard that most of them were killed last night by Sasuke's own older brother. Really? Is Sasuke-kun alright? Yeah, he is supposed to be in the hospital. I doubt that he would come to school after what happened to his dad. My dad said that there was nothing left to actually confirm that it was his body. Naruto inwardly smirked at that comment. Thanks, Itachi ni-san, for the early birthday present. He thought to himself as he looked up in the sky to see a raven fly by. Soon everybody filed in the CL, discussing the Uchiha clan massacre. Iruka said, okay, CL, settle down, today. Suddenly Sasuke Uchiha walked in along with his mother Makoto and Mizuki. Welcome back, Sasuke, Iruka said. Sasuke grunted, gone was his smile and replaced with an ever-present scowl on his face. Well, then take your seat. The brown-haired Chunin said. Sasuke strode to his desk and sat down with his fingers interlacing within each other, hiding his mouth. Great. Now who was the first Hokage? Iruka asked. Soon lunch came in and Naruto sat in his usual spot under the tree, eating his bento. His ears perked up to someone silently crying and Naruto looked behind him to see that it was his old friend Tenten, who was a year older and in a higher year than him. Hey, Bun, what are you crying for? Naruto asked. Tenten's body froze for a moment and she quickly rubbed her tears away to see a smirking Naruto. Naruto-kun. In the flesh, so how is life, Mouse-chan? Fine. Number 13. Both Naruto and Tenten met each other at the orphanage and became friends when Tenten shared her lunch with him. Naruto had many nicknames for Tenten, but on the other hand, Tenten couldn't find a single one except number 13 since he was always seemed to be unlucky. Oh, then why were you crying? Naruto asked in a serious tone. Tenten bowed her head and mumbled something to him, but Naruto replied, come on, Tenten, what is the matter? Everyone seems to hate me in my CL because I seem to have a knack at weapons, well, everyone except Ayane-san and Lee-san. That is it. You are crying because of that. Just do what I do, ignore them. Just because you specialize in something doesn't mean that you have to cry about it, it means that they are jealous of you for your gift. Tenten looked at Naruto and softly smiled. Thanks, Naruto-kun, so you are in the academy too. Yeah, the old bastard managed to pull some strings to get me in. Tenten asked hesitantly, are you still at the orphanage? Nope, the old bitch threw me out when you left, but I am living in a house with a couple. They are really nice and I will be fine. Worse things have happened to me before, Tenten. Naruto said rearingly. Tenten silently nodded as she witnessed the caretaker beat Naruto mercilessly because Tenten got a scraped knee while playing on the swing set. Looks like my CL is returning for the physical matches. I will see you later, Mouse-chan. Naruto said with a smirk. Tenten's face burned with emberment as Naruto left quickly. Don't call me that. She shouted after him. Then she sighed and smiled. That Naruto-kun. Mizuki said, okay, Sasuke, you are up first. Throw these shuriken at the targets. The Uchiha nodded silently and threw them at the targets. Each of the stars had sunk into the bull's eye. The fangirls cheered at his perfect score while some of the boys grumbled. Okay, Tokiko-chan, you are up next. The Chunin said with a smile. Tokiko took her shuriken and threw it. Most of them were off by a sliver of a margin from the bull's eye. Good job, Tokiko, Mizuki said and the fanboys cheered while some of the girls glared or grumbled. Rutaxin, come forward. Naruto noted Mizuki's hidden tone and inspected the shuriken to find it much heavier. The boy smirked and found Ami's eyes. He stared at her as he threw his shuriken one by one, all of them hitting the bullseye perfectly. Good job, Rutaxin, Mizuki said with a forced smile. One of the fangirls protested, but sensei, nobody is better than Sasuke-kun. The mute must have cheated. Slowly, Naruto turned his eyes upon the idiotic girl and replied coldly, this coming from an Uchiha fangirl who prefers to pop out babies than train. HMPH, foolish little girl, if you assume that I have cheated, then you better have a better argument that the fact that I beat Namikaze and tied with Uchiha. The kids were surprised that Naruto had talked and the choice of words that flew out of his mouth, considering the boy had not said anything in months. Iruka said, all right, CL, settle down. Amy, you are next. But sensei, aren't you going to punish Rutaxin for cheating? First off, Aya, if Naruto had cheated, Mizuki-sensei or Iruka-sensei would have picked up on it. Second, Rutaxin trains constantly since he has nothing to do at all, and third, why would he cheat? He is practically the strongest here. Surprisingly, this statement came from Tokiko Namikaze, but Naruto never heard her refute his statement, considering he left the arena. Later that day, Naruto sat at his usual spot, under the cherry blossom tree, which was the only place that he felt at peace with himself and the world. Then he heard footsteps shuffling over to him. The Jinchuriki cracked his eye open to see that Sasuke has stood before him along with his fangirls behind him. What do you want from me, Uchiha? I think that you manipulated those shuriken to your advantage. Sasuke said boldly, my father said that the Uchiha clan is always the best. The Jinchuriki chuckled as he replied, I believe that the correct term is, once said, seeing that your father is resting in pieces. Don't you dare, Sasuke shouted. Fine. I won't dare mention you father unless you don't dare question my ability with weapons. Naruto cut in with a glare, you may believe in the bigotry of the Uchiha that they are the so-called superior clan, but remember, even someone through enough guts can kill a superior, even someone who proclaims to be a god. Also, if the Uchiha clan is the strongest, why are they dead? Why was your father not Hokage? Sasuke gritted his teeth in anger and said, you know what? We will settle this. You will switch partners with me and I will show you the power of the Uchiha clan. Naruto raised an eyebrow, and why should I stoop to your level to fight you? Naruto began to walk away until Sasuke said something that he would truly regret, because I will make sure that Ayane will have a life of hell. What did you say? Naruto whispered. I said I will make Ayane's life a living hell. You bastard. She is your cousin for God's sake. Naruto thought in anger. Ayane Uchiha, the daughter of Mitsuki Uchiha and the result of a rape event. When she activated her Sharingan, the clan found out that the colors were inverted. Her tomo marks were red instead of black and the background was black. Due to that factor, she was mistreated because of her impure blood and was automatically UMED as a weak link in the clan because her own mother was not able to protect herself from being raped. How Naruto met her was when she ran to the sakura tree that the Jinchuriki was previously under when she was being picked on by some of her CL mates. She is a failure just like you. Sasuke replied with a smug smirk on his face. Naruto clenched his fist and teeth. Fine, I will switch with your partner Shino. Good. Then the fangirls, along with the Uchiha, left the Jinchuriki alone, not noticing the wind swirling around him and his eyes slowly turned to a slitted red. Itachi ni, Ayane-chan, Makoto-san, I'm sorry, but Sasuke just picked the wrong button to push and he is going to get knocked down a few pegs. He thought vehemently. Later, during sparring, Naruto was true to his word and switched from Shino to Sasuke. As he stood in front of the Uchiha, Sasuke turned to say, you showed up, I thought you were going to run away. You never gave me much of a choice, Uchiha, now hurry up and let's be quick about it. Naruto replied in monotone. Sasuke visibly scowled at his tone since it reminded him about his brother on the night of his father's murder. The Jinchuriki slipped into the Academy Taijutsu style while Sasuke moved into his family style. The Uchiha attacked with a vicious right hook, but Naruto leaned back to avoid it and then he had to dodge a kick to his knee. Naruto quickly threw a punch at Sasuke, but the arrogant Uchiha caught it and threw him to the side, but Naruto corrected himself and sent a chop to Sasuke's wrist, breaking his hold on his arm and gave the male Uchiha an uppercut, sending him to the ground. Everyone gasped in surprise to see that the Uchiha was knocked down first, and Sasuke jumped up angrily as everyone stopped fighting and went to see the battle. The Uchiha charged at his opponent, but Naruto ducked quickly and lifted up to flip him and make the Uchiha land hard on his back. "I will not lose to you," Sasuke declared as he sent a high kick to Naruto's head, but the Jinchuriki dodged it only to meet Sasuke's fist in his stomach and then his face. Naruto backed off for a moment to wipe his bleeding lip and noticed that Sasuke was a bit haggard due to his aggressive attacks. Naruto shifted his stance a bit and waited for Sasuke to come to him and make a stupid move, which didn't take that long because patience was never one of Sasuke Uchiha's virtues. Actually, as a matter of fact, he didn't have many virtues at all. The Jinchuriki sighed as he ducked and performed a sweep kick, tripping Sasuke, and then sent an elbow to the solar plexus, knocking out the Uchiha out cold. "Never, ever threaten the lives or well-being of the few people that I respect and or care about, Uchiha. I have already lost 2 people in my life to your clan's arrogance. I will not let that arrogance destroy another person's life," Naruto whispered as he walked away. Ting. Naruto slowly turned to see a kunai point first on the ground and follow the path to see Sakura Haruno's outstretched arm and the look of anger on her face. "How did you deflect that? I didn't even see you move," she asked. "No," demanded. "Why did you throw that kunai at me?" Naruto replied coolly. "Because you hurt Sasuke-kun, you freak." She replied. "No," screamed. "It was a spar, Haruno-san. Of course I hurt Uchiha-san. In a fight, there are no terms that say when an Uchiha appears on the scene, that opponent must bend over and take his punishment for facing him like a bitch. No, a true ninja would fight back, and if you don't want me to maim your ugly face as it is, then I suggest that you don't be so stupid to attack me." HMPH. Smartest kunoichi. My. Naruto said as he turned away. Mizuki replied, "Sakura, take Sasuke to the infirmary and don't do anything to him." Rutaxan. Tell me, just how did you block Sakura's kunai? Why should I tell you? You never gave 2 shits about me until today, Mizuki. Go to hell, Naruto said in a cold voice. The Jinchuriki moved away back to his tree and waited for them to finish. "You know, you didn't have to do all that to him, Mr. 13. A familiar voice said in a light tone, causing him to smile a bit. HMPH, your cousin was in hole, I can't help that. So Tenten told you that I am in the academy, Ms. 14. Yeah, I heard about the challenge from those fangirls, couldn't keep their mouths shut. I am sorry that he forced you to fight because of me, damn Shisui, I'm glad that Itachi ni killed him." Naruto nodded. "Yeah, me too, so how have you been lately?" "I have been better since the massacre happened, since Makoto-sama is in power now and reinstated as a Jonin. She has been protecting me a bit from harm, and now I just have to worry about Sasuke Tem. I am strong enough to protect myself due to my training. You? Me? Same old except for one thing. It just so turns out that I have recently activated my bloodline a few months back. I have weapons that are hidden around my persona, swords, spears, halberds, etc. I will have to kill a set of 10 people to get more of them though." Naruto. "Don't worry. I will be fine, just as long as you guys are safe, I won't go on a rampage. Also, a friend of mine will be helping you just in case Sasuke tries something with you. But, I know you are strong, Ms. Hikari, but I know from personal experience that mobs can overwhelm the greatest ninja, besides it is someone you know and will do a better job at protecting you." "Alright, but I am not going to like it." Naruto. "I know, Ayane-chan." 4 years later, Naruto grew up and changed his attire from a white shirt and green pants to a black tight-fitting shirt, a long black hooded coat that ended at his ankles with a silver chain in the front and the zipper all the way down, you know what I am talking about, and black-fitting pants. Ayane and Tenten graduated and were put on separate teams. Tenten was put on Maida Guy's team along with Rock Lee and Neji Hyuga, the last year's Rookie of the Year, while Ayane was taken under apprenticeship by Gecko Hayate, Konoha's resident swordsman and the fiancé of Yugao Azuki, the guardian of Naruto. "Alright, today is the day that all of you will or will not become ninja. The test is the Bunshin no Jutsu." Uruka said. "This test is so pointless. Konoha has become weak. No wonder the death rate is so high for genin reaching their C rank mission." Naruto thought as he scowled at the mention of the test. One by one, each academy student came out proudly with their headband tied on some part of their body. Until he heard his name called by Iruka and got up to go to the separate room. Please perform the specified jutsu. Mizuki said and Naruto said, Bunshin no jutsu. 5 perfect clones appeared beside him. Congratulations, Naruto, you are officially a genin. Yay, woo, to be honest, this test I bet a civilian could pee this thing easily. Nobody uses this type of illusion anymore at all. Naruto commented as he pocketed his headband. Next, Naruto left the academy, noticing the sickly smiles that the parents gave him until the Jinchuriki gave them back a smile of his own and something extra, by showing them his headband hidden in his pocket, making the smiles turn into frowns. He laughed at them and gave them the middle finger and then his index finger followed, deuces, bitches. Naruto turned and bumped into the last person on earth that he wanted to see. You, the person said. Yes, me, what the hell do you want, Namikaze? Do you have something else better to do than try to kill the one who holds your coward of a husband's killer? The woman known as Kushina Namikaze ne Uzumaki replied in a whisper, How did you pee, Akuma? Naruto whispered back, You know, for someone who once held the Kyuubi inside of your gut, you are pretty hypocritical. Does that make you a former demon? Maybe I should tell your daughter behind the history of the Uzumakis and the Kyuubi no Kitsune. Maybe I should tell the real reason why her father died. After all, it was your own fault that the Kyuubi was released. Kushina's eyes widened and grew furious as Naruto walked by as he said, Be careful of how you deal with me, Kushina, because if I so desire, I could release her from this prison to kill you, the village, everyone, well, except a few people that is. Sayonara. Kushina thought, I didn't kill Minato, the Kyuubi did. You are wrong, demon, it was you. Ka-san, what is wrong? Tokiko said as she approached her mother. Nothing, Toki-chan. I was thinking about how to give your graduation present. Kushina said as she glanced at Naruto's retreating back. So he knows everything about the connection of the Uzumakis and the Kyuubi, but the Kyuubi was never responsive to me, so how does he know about the release of the fox? Night Naruto practiced with his bloodline and taijutsu, considering that it was the only time that he was able to let loose without worrying about the Hokage monitoring him with his damn crystal ball. Then he heard some shouting and noises of a battle. The boy went to investigate to see Mizuki and Iruka locked in battle and it didn't look like a friendly battle at all. Naruto glanced at the scroll on Mizuki's back along with his Fuma Shuriken to recognize it as the Scroll of Seals, which was filled with forbidden jutsu and seals, including the one that was on his stomach. Why would you put a scroll of kinjutsu somewhere in the Hokage Tower and tell that information to Chunin and up? Of course, some idiot is going to get power hungry. Naruto thought as he took a spear and launched it between the two combatants. Rutaxin. Iruka is trying to steal the scroll. Take him out now, Mizuki shouted. Cut the crap, Mizuki, and since when have you ever told the truth? 1. I know that you secretly hate me for thinking that I am the Kyuubi, which I am not, sealed in my gut. 2. You are aiming to kill and dismember instead of fighting to capture and incapacitate. Naruto stated. Mizuki chuckled and replied, You are right, I thought that you would be dumb enough to believe me, but I see that it will not work. Die, demon. Iruka yelled, Rutaxin-san, run. Naruto blocked the shuriken with his bloodline and the swords appeared. Mizuki, you wanted to know why I could block that kunai from Sakura 4 years ago. Meet my bloodline, the Rei no Ken. Mizuki took out his 2 Fuma Shuriken from his back and put the scroll of seals down. He took a stance as he said, I am going to enjoy killing you. Picture Axel's stance from Kingdom Hearts 2. Naruto jumped down in front of Iruka and smirked as he pulled out 2 swords from their invisible form. Each were shaped like a key, only the difference was one was white and the other was black. 2. Where did you get those? The traitorous bastard asked. For a Chunin, you are not very smart. I just said my bloodline is made up of invisible weapons. Now I want you to meet Oathkeeper in Oblivion. Here is a little history. Oathkeeper represents the bond between 2 people who eventually came to love each other. The second one, Oblivion, represents the bond between 2 people who were friends, turned enemies, turned friends again. The wielder of their 2 weapons' name was Roxas, the nobody of Sora, the key of destiny. Then Naruto thought with an inward smirk, but that is not all of his abilities. He can glide at fast speeds, so fast in fact that he leaves behind a lens flare and control 13 sword-shaped shields of light energy which can connect to form a laser array. Also levitate his keyblades in the air and can also counter any extended combo with a more powerful one of his own, even creating a ring of damage just by twirling them in a circle. His special attack involves him floating in the air and shooting his 13 light shields around the arena, which then lighted up in a thick twilight mist as Roxas begins shooting blue spheres of light at his opponent from energy gathered in his hands. Judging by the video of his style, he often attacks rapidly from side to side, confusing the opponent, leaving a trail of light behind him. Mizuki smirked, I wonder how powerful they are once I defeat you and take them from your dead hands. Come on, I make your misery all stop. Axel's theme plays. Naruto charged at Mizuki, who threw his shuriken at the Jinchuriki, but Naruto knocked the weapon to the side with oblivion. The traitor smirked as he pulled back on his unoccupied hand. Back in Naruto's eyes widened as he dodged to the left to avoid getting split in half, only to suffer a gash on his side. Naruto swung Oathkeeper at Mizuki, who blocked it with his left shuriken, and then the silver-haired man tried to do a sweep kick, but the young swordsman jumped back. Mizuki jumped into the air and Naruto followed him on the tree trunks, clashing against him in midair. Then the Chunin seemingly floated in midair for a moment as Naruto pushed off of the trees and made Mizuki crash into the floor. Iruka was in shock to see that a newly graduated student of his was kicking his former friends up and down the forest. Die! Mizuki shouted as he tried to impale Naruto with his shuriken, but Naruto used Oathkeeper to send it upwards and used Oblivion to sever the wires connecting to Mizuki's fingers. Then Naruto's eye turned crimson as he said, "You first, traitor." The Jinchuriki threw Oathkeeper at Mizuki, who dodged it and threw his shuriken in retaliation. Again, Naruto used Oblivion in a two-handed strike to slice the shuriken in half, rendering Mizuki's primary weapon useless. The Chunin, desperate to get away to his master, flashed through hand signs, Kaden, Hausenka. Naruto was forced to dodge the flaming fireballs while Mizuki dashed toward Genesis. If Mizuki had stood there a minute ago, he would not have failed to notice the devil's smirk appear on Naruto's face. As soon as Mizuki grasped the hilt of Oathkeeper and turned to face Naruto, his eyes widened to see the weapon flash back in Naruto's hand, which just so happened to be in front of him. The boy performed a cross slash on his torso. Looks like I win, Mizuki Tem. Now please have a nice life in hell and send my regards to the Shinigami and be sure to tell the Yondaime that he is a coward as well as an idiot. I knew you were a demon. Mizuki gasped out, making Naruto frown, and the Jinchuriki stabbed him in the stomach. Now let's get something straight here, I am not a demon. I am a Jinchuriki, a human whose life was sacrificed because of one man's cowardice. He yanked it back forcefully, making Mizuki back up, holding his stomach, and fell dead. Welcome to hell, bitch. Naruto said as he spat on Mizuki, then he had a sick idea. He walked towards Mizuki and relieved himself on his head before turning to Iruka. Are you alright, Iruka-sensei? Why yeah, thanks, Rutaxan. My name is Naruto. You have earned the right to actually call me by my real name, Iruka-sensei. Then the Anbu showed up and Naruto commented, wow, you guys are later. By now, Mizuki would have been long gone with the scroll of seals. Damn, maybe I should have done pranks and wore a neon orange jumpsuit to have you guys chase me. Oh, well, sayonara, have fun with the cleanup crew, and he is dead, so you have fun. The Anbu grabbed Mizuki's piss-covered, bloody corpse while Naruto took the scroll of seals and Iruka back to the hospital, but left the real thing hidden in the forest and later made a copy of the scroll to return it after the Hokage went home. Naruto came home and called out, Hayate, Yugao, I am home. The two lovers came out to see Naruto in his blood-stained clothes, making Hayate comment, oh, for the love of all that is holy, Naruto, what the hell? This is the 5th time this month that you came home covering in blood. Hey, the last one was justified. You would kill the bastard too if he tried to stab your nuts with a potato peeler. Anyway, turns out that Mizuki tried to go rogue and take the scroll of seals along with killing Iruka-sensei. I was in the area and stopped it by fighting him. He should be in the morgue by now with a hole in his stomach. Yugao replied, You are well in your right and acted accordingly. You did that to give Sarutobi more paperwork, didn't you? That and Aruka-sensei was very kind to me, strict on the teaching, but kind. Well, I better go get some rest, so I can report the events despite the fact that he was probably watching the whole thing. Yugao said, "Good night, Naruto." As the boy went upstairs, Yugao sighed, "Hayate-kun, our village is full of idiots, including my sensei. The more they push, the more brutal Naruto become." Hayate replied, "I know, my love, life has been a bitch to Naruto, and Konoha has made him into who he is today. I just pray and hope that some dumb is not stupid enough to harm those that he holds dear, or else Naruto will become an unstoppable force to crush this village down to its roots, and I, for one, will not help this village when the time comes." Next day, Naruto appeared in front of the Hokage and the council. "Welcome, Rutaxin. I will not tell you again, Sarutobi." "Welcome, Rutaxin, please have a seat." "I prefer to stand, Hokage-sama," Naruto said. Everyone heard the laced venom in Naruto's voice as he said Hiruzen's title. "Can you please tell us the events of last night's encounter with the deceased traitor, Mizuki?" Shinny Aburame asked. Naruto's voice changed into a polite tone as he answered, "Certainly, Shinny-sama. I was practicing my skills in the forest, considering that I have no privacy in the damn village since I am the Kyuubi Jinchuriki and my seemingly volatile nature. Also Sarutobi was spying with his crystal ball." The Haruno spoke up, "Your privacy was not breached, Rutaxin. You have killed over 11 villagers and 3 of our ninja, all of them were Chunin level." Naruto replied, "Because of the fact that they attacked me and broke the law of the Sandaime that the younger generation, including myself, was not to know about the Kyuubi, and my proposed threat was not to be called monster, freak, demon, etc. I am not a time bomb. Plus you wouldn't want to be interrupted during your with most of the civilian council, Homura, Sarutobi, and more importantly, the late Fugaku Uchiha." Saya Haruno paled in fright as Makoto growled at Naruto as she activated her Sharingan to intimidate him. "Care to elaborate on that accusation, Naruto-san? Choose your words carefully, and if you are lying, I will know." The Jinchuriki walked up to her position and stared into her eyes, making the Anbu tense up and their hands inched closer to their weapons. He took out 5 pictures from inside of his shirt and set them face down in front of her. As he flipped them over, the pictures of Fugaku Uchiha and Saya Haruno got more raunchy and promiscuous as Naruto flipped over them. He watched in amusement as Saya's face blushing at the memories and paling at Makoto's expression. The Uchiha matriarch's hands were trembling. "Do you recognize any distinct marks that you know are on your deceased husband?" The Jinchuriki asked. "Yes. The birthmark on the left shoulder is shaped like a pentagon, it is real," Makoto said quietly. Kushina replied, glaring at Naruto for causing her friend pain, "Miko-chan, it could have been a trick, he could have used a genjutsu." Naruto sighed, "For the last time, you stupid bitch, I don't know any illusions. Hell, I can't even perform a genjutsu because of my immense chakra that your husband oh so happily sealed into me. The only thing that is good about it is that I am immune to genjutsu. Oh, and you can thank Itachi for giving me the information about your husband, Makoto-san. As the saying goes, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer." He did a white lie. He could do illusions with Zexian's lexicon, but he would have to get that person or people inside the book to actually activate it. Sarutobi began, "But we are not your enemies." "Ha, not my enemies, that deserve another laugh. Ha, I could see the greed in your eyes. You wanted me to be loyal, to be a living weapon since I held the Kyuubi and now my own Kekkei Genkei. The civilian council looked like they were going to pay off some civilian whores to gain my trust and impregnate them with my seed. Old mummy man wants my power under his thumb. In my eyes, you are the enemy, the rest of you. I am a bit wary of you except the tomato head." Just then Kushina attacked Naruto, who took out one of the whirlwind lances out to block her katana. "You know, I would kill you right now for attacking me, but I would rather make you suffer just living as a reminder of your husband's failure." Kushina growled and the Sandaime shouted, "Kushina, compose yourself and stand down. This is a meeting, not a battlefield." The Namikaze matriarch sat down, glaring at Naruto while Makoto whispered, "When did this happen and how did Itachi know? When did this start?" Naruto's eyes softened a bit and said, Are you sure that you want to know, Makoto-san? The Uchiha matriarch bit her lip as tears of anger, hurt and betrayal threatened to fall. Yes. It started 2 years before the massacre happened. Itachi knew something was up with Fugaku, but he couldn't prove because the bastard was too slippery. One night I overheard him talking about his predicament to Taka and decided to do it because of good stealth training and excellent blackmail in case Fugaku would try anything against me. I watched both Fugaku and Saya's patterns. Every Thursday and Sunday, they got busy at the hotel, signing in as Yusuke and Ayane Hibiki. After 2 hours, the henge on both of them would fall. Saya shouted out, "That is not true. Shut it, wench, or I will rip out your tongue. I will deal with you later." Makoto spat out in hatred, turning her red eyes upon the Haruno. "Please continue, Rutaxan-san," the Uchiha matriarch said as she turned her gaze on her. "Actually, you just earned the right to call me by my real name now. Nice intimidation act, by the way. Anyway, I set up in the closet and used a camera equipped with night vision and also without flash or noise. I also have a video of it if you didn't believe the pictures. Why did you wait until now to reveal this? 1. You were in love with the bastard and in mourning, therefore you wouldn't have believed me at all. 2. False security for the Haruno to believe her dirty little secret was safe. 3. I couldn't get close enough because Fugaku would have harmed you and a friend of mine in your clan to control my actions. 4. You are friends with the tomato bitch. There was a possibility that she would have brainwashed you into thinking that I am the sword instead of the sheath. 5. In case that said brainwashing was believed, I would have used the information to make sure you lose your status and give it to Itachi his rightful place. To be honest with you, a shame he went rogue. Who is this friend of his in the Uchiha clan? Kushina thought, I may be able to use him or her as leverage against that demon, but I just hope that Miko-chan doesn't find out about it. I see. Thank you for being honest with me, Naruto-san. What? You can't be serious to believe this. Boy over your husband. A random member shouted. Let's see. Pictures that were confirmed by Makoto-sama herself, check. Haruno's dirty glances at me and the fact that her palms are sweaty and trembling, plus the ashen look on her face confirms her guilt. On top of that, the Jinchuriki said as he grabbed the TV in the corner. Naruto took out a tape and popped it into the TV and pressed the play button to reveal Fugaku and Saya going at it like rabbits in heart. And the evidence of the two-ing like there is no tomorrow proved my word against Haruno and the deceased husband. Do you have any proof that I am lying? The one who said the outburst said nothing as he stared at the tape. The shinobi side was in disgust while some of the council members including Sarutobi were fidgeting, considering that most of them were acquaintanced with Saya Haruno's, services. Makoto was furious, so furious that he chakra exploded out of her and was visible. I am going to kill you, bitch. She shouted as she stalked towards Saya, who was whimpering in fear, but Naruto appeared in front of Makoto and said, I can't let you do that, Makoto-san. Give me one good reason why. Her child, hers and Fugaku's. Takeshi Haruno is actually Takeshi Uchiha. Saya gasped, how do you know that? Remember, I am immune to genjutsu, but I have to say it took me a while to figure out that seal that Fugaku placed on him before he died. Naruto replied, but that doesn't change the fact that I can't kill her. I have grounds to go it. Makoto said, her hand twitching in a claw motion. Naruto said, you are right, but I have a better idea. Let her live, but to make her regret her decision, by exploiting her weakness, by taking the one thing she craved and cherished, by taking her son away with no visitation rights whatsoever. Saya's eyes widened and she immediately knelt at Naruto's feet. No, please don't do that, anything but that. He is my boy, my child. I would rather have her kill me 1,000 times than to bear the reality that I can never see my son again. Makoto said, giving her a sickly smile, you should have thought of that before you slept with my cheating bastard of a husband. The good thing from him was my son Itachi and now he is gone because he snapped and killed his clan for power. Naruto, I will take your decision wholeheartedly. Saya screamed as she chewed at Naruto's pants, please, don't let her do this to me. Naruto closed his eyes, Saya-san. Yes. Her face changed to horror as the sadistic smirk appeared on Naruto's face. Welcome to hell and I told you before, karma is a bitch. I told you this before when you gave me this lovely scar on my collarbone, remember? He lifted the collar down to show the Roman numeral for 9 and the Haruno crumpled to the ground, weeping. I made you lost your reputation, made you lose your power as a council member, and now I have killed you by making you lose your son, the thing you cherished most. Thank you for giving me the pleasure of taking it away. Naruto said as he walked away from the weeping shell formerly known as Saya Haruno. Anbu, please remove Saya from this room, take her home and watch her closely please. I fear that Sakura-san will be an orphan if she is left alone. Sarutobi said. Then Naruto looked at Kushina and gave her a creepy eye smile. Just as you saw Saya walk out the door, don't think I won't hesitate to do the same with your daughter. Koharu jumped in by saying, are you insane? You dare to threaten the well-being of Tokiko Namikaze? Of course not. Don't get your granny panties in a knot. I am merely stating a fact, a warning. In fact, Lady Namikaze would try to do something, how you say, rash. Now back to the reason why I am here. I heard Iruka-sensei and Mizuki-tem fighting and went to investigate. After Iruka-sensei was incapacitated, I stepped in to help. Mizuki tried to frame sensei after I appeared, but I knew that he secretly resented me and was always discriminating against me and my friend Shino since he was my first sparring partner and knows what a true burden is. We fought and at first, I was going to leave him alive, but he decided to piss me off, so I killed him. By the way, old man, your Anbu are slow, or was it the reason that you noted that Iruka was a friend of mine that you sent the Anbu late, Sandame? The old man said, what are you talking about? I sent the Anbu to find Mizuki. And yet a Chunin schoolteacher found him, hardly believable. I tell you what, how fast can your Anbu go since my clone is about to kill your grandson along with his tutor, Ebisu, in 5 minutes. Anbu. Find Konohamaru now. The Anbu dispersed immediately and then they came back. Hokage-sama, there was no clone in the vicinity. 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Yet your Anbu got to our location in 10 minutes. Care to explain? Naruto said, looking at his nails. Sarutobi glared at Naruto as he said, I don't care if I owe you, Rutaxan. Don't ever dare threaten anyone precious to me, understand? Crystal, since that you just helped confirm my theory, now if only you showed that much Pion 7 years ago, considering you made the title of Hokage to basically be the council's bitch. Never got that question right on the test though. Tobarama-sama and Hashirama-sama would be so disappointed in you, Hiruzen. Sarutobi glanced at the council to find that they were disgusted with him. Well, the shinobi side of course, and thought, Naruto, you have really changed, what have I done? I have made you into a monster and now I have to be more wary of you because of this mistake. So, Hokage-sama, am I dismissed? Naruto said, his voice breaking the old man out of his thoughts. Hiruzen replied, why yes, you are. Naruto nodded and left the room while Shikaku Nara said, well, that went well, basically now the council is his bitch now. Choza replied, how do you suppose that, old friend? For one, every clan here has helped Naruto in some indirect way except the Namikaze clan and the majority of the Uchiha clan, but he is still wary of us as a whole. The civilian council he hated with a Pion, so he must have loads of information and dirt on them as well as the elders and Hokage-sama. In essence, we are screwed. Then the Nara clan head thought, not only that he had gained the aid of the Uchiha clan through uncovering the affair with Fugaku and Saya, discredit one of his main oppressors as well as making her a shadow of her former self. On top of that, he just proved that our Hokage was trying to make Naruto into a weapon by using Iruka's death. Yeah, this is troublesome to say, but we are ed. What do you mean we? Kushina inquired. I mean that all of the minor clans including one of the major clans have helped him in the past. The civilians have inflicted pain on the boy until he turned 7. You loathe him for taking your husband, and Sarutobi-sama is mad that his wife is gone and is trying to condition Naruto into a living weapon. Kushina defended the Hokage. The Hokage was justified in his actions. Didn't you hear him threaten my child? He didn't threaten your child, he just warned you about crossing the line with him, and also can you blame him? After all, you are the former Jinchuriki and Tokiko-chan serves a constant reminder of the what-if scenario, the scenario of having a normal life with your daughter revered as a hero and being the heir to the Namikaze clan, plus he believes that you have instigated some of the attacks, but he can't seem to prove it. He knows the love for your daughter and the love of Sarutobi-sama for his grandson. He will exploit that love and destroy you from the inside out. Inoichi shuddered a bit. He sounds like a miniature version of Ibiki. Hiyashi replied, no, he is worse. He is a mixture of him, Itachi and Orochimaru. To tell you the truth, if we keep pushing him to the edge, he will become the second coming of Itachi, but the only thing is, only a bare minimum will survive from his rampage. Attacking him or anyone that he deems precious to him is an act of war against him. The civilian council visibly paled in fear while Kushina, the elders and Sarutobi were stoic, but inwardly there was a hint of fear. Pray for mercy for who's tries to piss off Naruto, for he will show no mercy. Naruto the Jinchuriki walked into the CL room to see Iruka with gauze pads on his face and his right arm in a sling. Well, you look like shit, sensei, said Naruto with a mirthless chuckle. Very funny. Thanks for helping me, Naruto. I would have never thought that Mizuki would betray us like that. He pretended to be my friend from the start, all of those years, resenting me because of the attention that I was given when my parents were killed. Iruka said, he even played Tsubaki-chan, his girlfriend. HMPH, I am glad that the bastard is gone. I just hope that the girlfriend will not attempt to kill me. Also watch your back, sensei. There are people with tremendous power that will try to kill you indirectly because of your association with me. What kind of people? Questioned Iruka. The kind of people that will sacrifice countless lives for the sake of one dead person and another person's loyalty. That is all I can tell for now. Soon afterwards, students began to pile into the CL room, chattering about their new status as genin, and some were curious about Iruka's state. Sensei, what happened to you? Sakura asked. Where is Mizuki-sensei? Mizuki is no longer with us. He tried to defect from the village with the scroll of seals, but I was about to stop him along with the help of a friend to deal with him accordingly. He is in prison now. Now for your teams. Flashback: the Hokage gathered up his jonin to IGN them the teams. Alright, Kurenai-san, who would you like? Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka and Shino Aburame. These three would make an excellent tracking team with their unique Kekkei Genkai. The Genjutsu mistress stated. Alright, now Asuma-kun. The smoker said, I will do the next generation of the Ino Shika Cho formation again. Their jutsu complemented each other as a capture and retrieval team as well as interrogation. Which means Kakashi, you get Tokiko Namikaze, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Rutaxan. Sarutobi said with his pipe in his mouth. Hold it, I will take the Rutaxan brat myself. A voice piped up. Everyone turned to see that it was Anko Mitarashi, looking at them with a dango stick in their mouth. For one, that kid got more skills with that bloodline of his. He would be perfect for I-Nation and espionage with his stealth along for alt. It has been a while since I have taken on a student. Sorry, Mitarashi, but I will be training him. Oh, bullshit, you just want him to make him your stress reliever and keep an eye on him, besides the way you teach S. The Hokage shouted, enough. Team 7 will have Kakashi as their sensei and Naruto will be paired with Anko as his sensei. Dismissed. End flashback. Team 7 will be Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, Q evil fangirl squeal, Tokiko Namikaze, Q fanboy scream, fangirl wail, smirk on Uchiha and head banging against the desk. Team 13 will be only Rutaxan, Q glares and awkward silence. Team 8 will be Shino Aburame, Hinata Hyuga and Kiba Inuzuka. Team 10 will be Shikamaru Nara, Ino Yamanaka and Choji Akamichi. Team 11, Iruka continued until he announced all of the teams. Now you will have a 30-minute break, so try to use this time to get to know your teammates. The Chunin said, and then he gave an apologetic look at Naruto. Tokiko chose the time to move from her seat and go to Naruto's position in the back. So it looks like we are going to be teammates, huh, Rutaxan-san? She said, I'm Tokiko Namikaze, pleased to be working with you in the near future. Naruto raised an eyebrow at Tokiko's outstretched hand and said, why are you talking to me, Namikaze? Don't you have something else better to do than talk to me? Tokiko rubbed the back of her head. Well, no, not really. Sakura refuses to believe that I don't like Sasuke. Sasuke seems to like me, but it is creepy and you, well, I never got a chance to know you because you always seem to disappear. I intend to keep it that way, Namikaze, because I don't trust you, any of you. Why is that? Did your mother put you up to this? So you can get close to me and then kill me? What? No. Ka-san didn't want you to be friends with you in the first place. Then we have no business here, please leave. Tokiko whispered, look, I know what my father did to you was wrong, but I am not the reason for you to be angry or aloof with me. Naruto finally took his head from the window to stare at her with his cold, dark blue eyes. Really? Tell me if our positions were reversed, if I was you and you were me, you wouldn't resent me because I am the constant reminder of what my life could have been, but you are right. I am not mad at you. I am mad at your idiots for parents. Your mother and I used to be in a similar situation, but anyway, I will only tolerate you because you are a comrade. I have no intention of becoming all buddy-buddy with you. And just to clarify with you, if you or your mother try to kill me or one of my friends for no reason at all, I will make sure that you are wishing to join Yondaime Tem in the pits of the Shinigami's stomach. Tokiko looked fearfully into Naruto's eyes and saw as his eyes became cold as chips of ice. She left and sat 2 rows in front of him as she thought, shaking, that was real killing intent, he really was serious about killing me. You know, that was not very nice, Naruto-kun. Tomomi said, she sounded sincere. I know, but she has given me no particular reason to trust her at all, Tomomi. Remember, even the most sincere person can be the most dangerous of all, and don't say that I don't trust you at all. I have been in contact with you for 6 years and your eyes can't lie, there is no reason not to trust you. The vixen said, all I am saying is to give her a chance to prove herself. If I am wrong, you can punish me in any way you want and I will not object. Deal, but I am not doing the second thing, it will make me feel like I am one of those holes. Hey, freak, what did you say to Tokiko-chan? Sakura's shrill voice rang throughout Naruto's ears. That is none of your concern, bitch, now run along and act like a for the Uchiha, considering you have better things to do than to mess with little old me. Naruto retorted in an annoyed voice. Sasuke glared at Naruto partly because Sakura did just that and because he was talking to his supposed girl, Tokiko Namikaze. Then Anko came in, Rutaxan. Naruto got up and followed her, leaving Team 7 to be picked up by Kakashi in the next 2 hours. Alright, we are all here, now for the introductions, state your names, likes, dislikes, hobbies and dreams. Anko said, why don't you start us off, sensei? Fine. I'm Anko Mitarashi, my likes are snakes, dango, training, parties, my friends in the forest of death. My dislikes are arrogance, fangirls, some of the council and one of the Sanin. My hobbies are partying and eating dango, my dream is to kill said Sanin and maybe settle down with a man that can handle me. Alright, Gaki, your turn. My name is Rutaxan, not my real name, but this village except a few choice people have earned the right to know it. My likes are weapons, the minor clans, the Hyuga clan, my friends, whose names I will not tell, Taijutsu, former Anbu Neko, Okami and Itachi, Anbu Kuma, my sensei and putting idiots in their place. My dislikes are this village, most of its inhabitants, Kakashi, Kushina, Sarutobi, the Uchiha, excuse me, let me clarify all of the Uchiha that got killed by Itachi. Naruto paused to say, thank you, Itachi. My hobbies are training and writing, as for my dream, well, I will let you try to figure it out yourself. Namikaze residence Tokiko came inside her home while saying, Ka-san, I am home. Kushina rushed out to her daughter and hugged her tightly, how are you, sweetie? Did he hurt you? I was watching on the orb. No, Ka-san, I tried to talk to him about why he hates us so much. I told you already, he is the Kyuubi. He hates us because he lost his power when he fought your father. No, Ka-san, he hates me because I remind him of an alternate solution that Tu-san could have taken and he hates you because of something that you did to him in the past and the fact that he said that you and him were the same once. Kushina replied with a smile, he is lying, my daughter. Really? So if I was in his shoes, what would you do if I was the Jinchuriki? Tokiko said with a bit of conviction in her voice. Kushina bit her lip and was able to avoid the question. Thanks to the timely arrival of ramen, making Tokiko temporarily forget about her question, and the Namikaze matriarch thought in anger, looks like I am gonna have to pay a personal visit to the demon fox. Hayate residence, you got Enko-chan as your sensei? Yugao said in shock. Naruto sipped his green tea and replied, yep. Yugao said, I see. Oh, by the way, I heard about Saya Haruno, she tried to commit suicide twice today. How did you manage to get the pictures? Naruto said, remember when I broke the lamp and you sent me to bed early? I snuck out to get the pictures since you and Hayate ni were on patrol duty. The purple-haired swordswoman said, I hope you know what you are doing, little brother, she might try something on those girls you secretly oceate with. The Jinchuriki replied, I don't think so, because then I would have to horribly maim Sakura and she doesn't want to risk the life of Takeshi, although I wouldn't do that. She loves that banshee of a daughter too much now that she is too valuable to lose, since she is trying to win the Uchiha's favor. Uchiha is the only one that I am worried about. Sasuke knows about the relationship between Ayane and me, therefore he will try to harm her, and even though Hayate is capable of protecting her, I don't think it is not enough, which is why Makoto-san will most likely try to find me about the favor she owes me since I revealed the affair between the bastard and the banshee to her. The Azuki replied, hopefully she will see the arrogance in her son. The council elders have been too lenient to him because he is the apparent heir to the Uchiha clan. Naruto snorted, HMPH, I refuse to believe that he is the heir. Itachi is the rightful heir, and I will make sure that the elders and Sarutobi will pay for placing the burden on him. They knew that he was a pacifist after the events of the Third Great Shinobi War. Yugao reached over and gave Naruto a hug. I know, little brother, I miss him too. Don't worry, they will get their punishment, just bide your time. Thanks, Ne-chan. Now I got a mission along with Hayate-kun and Ayane-chan. I will be gone for a few weeks. Can I trust you not to destroy the house? Maybe, the Jinchuriki replied cheekily. Yugao smiled and lightly pinched Naruto's cheek. I will see you later, Naruto. Bye, Ne-san, try not to get pregnant and traumatize Ayane along with the way. As Yugao disappeared quickly via Shunshin, Naruto smirked at his victory as he noticed her light blush. Well, I have practically nothing to do and the bastards are watching me, so I guess that I will just lay low. The boy thought. Uchiha Complex. Makoto watched as Takeshi Uchiha played with a playmate of his own. He had the trademark Uchiha hair and his mother's features, including the jade eyes, making him an outcast much like her niece, Ayane, but Makoto was not having any of that. She sighed at the events that happened over the course of 5 years. First, Itachi isolates himself and suddenly kills the whole Uchiha clan except the children, her, Sasuke, Ayane and the elderly. Next, Naruto, the pariah of Konoha, reveals that her supposed faithful husband was having an affair with Saya Haruno behind her back. Now her eyes were cleared to see the corruption within Konoha and able to see that the civilian council along with the works of her husband corrupted her youngest son as well. In essence, her family was dead. Usually someone with that kind of information would want a favor. Well, I better go and see what he wants. Makoto thought. Ayane, Makoto said, please watch Takeshi until your sensei arrives and make sure that he is with Kurohime when Hayate-san comes. I have to run an errand. Yes, Obaa-san. Makoto disappeared in a specialized can Shunshin to meet Naruto. Suddenly there was a knock at the door and Naruto thought, who could that be now? Naruto strode to the door after activating his bloodline and opened the door to see an Anbu, but the only difference was that he had the word, "nay," etched on his mask. Root. What does Danzo want with me? Naruto asked in amusement. The Anbu replied, I was told not to be surprised that you knew about the organization. My name is Torun. Danzo-sama has requested me to escort you to his home personally. Fine, Naruto answered as he stepped forward and made a ram seal. A sound was heard like a door being locked. Security seal, just in case someone is stupid enough to infiltrate. Oh, and one more thing. Naruto said as one of the lances appeared with ink over the blade's tip. Never try to outfox a fox, let's go. Torun thought with a bit of shock. He was able to detect Sai's technique, but that is impossible, he is the best of our infiltration corps. But the Anbu calmly nudged the thoughts to the side and took Naruto's shoulder in a shunshin. Danzo's abode Hyo and Naruto appeared in front of Danzo in his heavily bandaged glory. Welcome, Rutaxan-san. Danzo said. Welcome to my home, guards, please leave us. The guards left without a word and Naruto said, it is a bit dark for my taste, but what matters is that it suits you just fine. Now on to business. Ah, straight to the point, I see. I would like to interest you in a position in joining up with my root organization. I could use someone of your caliber in there. Danzo said in a serious tone. The hidden underline is that I know things that Sarutobi has hidden well from you, and by joining you, you get to protect your secrets, exploit his own, and have the Kyuubi's power at your disposal, correct? Naruto deduced. Danzo frowned a bit, but answered, that is a strong accusation, Rutaxan-san. I have no intention in controlling it, nor I have any methods to do so. Oh, so the Sharingan that you took from the dead Uchiha that were implanted in your right arm along with the Mokuden cells, plus that bastard Shisui's Sharingan in your right are false. Danzo's face showed nothing, but his mind was working overtime to see if he could get the even playing field. Look, Danzo, I will not mince words with you. I will not reveal your secrets to anyone unless you threaten my friends. We have both seen the result a few hours ago. Besides, we have a common goal, to get rid of Hiruzen Sarutobi or discredit him enough to make him hide in shame. We both believe that he shouldn't be in office as Hokage because he is weak. So here is the deal, you stay out of my way and I will stay out of yours. You may have the resources to control the Kyuubi inside me, but you don't want anything to happen to your daughter, do you? Danzo's eye widened. You. Naruto interrupted. I am doing the best I can to keep the old monkey from realizing the connection between the two of you, but I can't do that with your breathing down on my neck. So just keep on doing what you are doing. I will do my best to keep her safe, even though you know my friends, I know about that arm and your daughter, even you can't kill your emotions, Danzo. The Jinchuriki moved to leave, but Danzo spoke up. Naruto, does she know anything at all? I am going to let that slide for now, and the answer is no. Do you want me to tell her at your request, Danzo-san? Naruto said respectfully. No, I think it will be best that she doesn't know until I have reached my goal or I am dead, but that comment you said earlier, you wouldn't dare hurt her. I can see it in your eyes that you care for her as well. Naruto replied, I could say the same about you. You looked like you wanted to kill me on the spot for suggesting it, but I will be damned if anyone hurts her. She has got your tactical mind and abilities. Danzo let a smirk appear on his face. I know that for a fact. I have been watching her from a distance for quite some time. Please take care of her. I will, Danzo-san, just don't get killed, alright? Naruto disappeared via teleportation since he purposefully left one of his weapons at home, and Danzo said to himself, it seems he may have recreated the Hiraishin, he will be perfect for you as a husband. Danzo took out a kunai and lazily tossed it through the air to embed it into the wall. If you could observe the wall, you would have seen that the point has pierced and pinned an annoying fly to the wall through its thorax. I am sorry for not being there for you. Tenten. Hayate residence. I can't believe that I bargained with Ten-chan's life, much less her own father. Am I really that heartless? Naruto thought. No, it is just your mind going on. You are too used to threatening people with their innermost secrets and or family, Naruto-kun. Tomomi. You haven't been visiting much lately, Naruto-kun. Have you forgotten about me? Naruto replied warmly. How could I forget the woman who kept me alive and wondrous company for most of my life? Tomomi blushed a bit. Oh, stop, you are making me blush. I always seem to have that effect on you. Anyway, so other than the fact that I have neglected you, what do you need of me? Tomomi said, I need you to do something for me. In 6 months, I will be going into my heat cycle. Naruto asked, will this affect me in this world? Yes, if it is not satisfied, you could go on a run. Tomomi, are you asking me to have with you to avoid the trouble? The jailer felt his prisoner blush on this luscious skin of hers as she stuttered, why yes, I understand if this is too much for you. No, it is not. I will do it considering you did so much for me, how long you have been holding it back. The demon answered, 14 months, my fingers will not sat my needs anymore, I need something bigger. Naruto was quiet at the moment and said, alright, in 6 months, alert me and I will help you sat your UAL needs. Tomomi whispered, thank you, Naruto-kun. Then the mental link went dead and Naruto sighed, well, ain't this a bitch, but on the bright side, I get to have with one of the most beautiful things that I have ever seen. Suddenly a knock came at the door and the Jinchuriki opened it without thinking, what the he narrowly avoided a katana strike and activated his bloodline, damn it, wench, you damaged the floorboard. Yugao Nichan is going to have my on a silver platter for this. The katana belonged to Kushina Namikaze and she was pissed. Here I am trying to maim your demonic and yet you are worried about the stinking floorboard. You are not as intimidating as Yugao Nichan. Anyway, what the hell are you barging in here for? Kushina gripped her sword, to maim you for threatening my family, my friend and most importantly, my daughter. So you want a piece of me literally because I embered you and threatened your daughter. Wow, aren't you pathetic? Fine, I will play with you for a little bit, but I rather not mess up the house, Yugao Ne will kill us both, well, actually she will just hit me and kill you. Naruto said before he moved out of the house for the second time this hour and strode to the training grounds with Kushina at his heels behind him. Training ground area 14, alright, now you can bust out your moves and try to hit me, keyword, try. Naruto said as he picked up an unusual sword. It was shaped like a key, just like Oathkeeper in Oblivion, but it was way more different. It looked more like a key than the others. This is the Kingdom Key, isn't she beautiful? She was once wielded by a woman named Xian, but she was not a nobody like the others, she was made of memories by her other, Sora, and the reason that she was a she is because his strongest memory at the time was his lover, Kairi. Kushina replied angrily, what are you babbling about? Shut up and fight, you bastard, you will pay for threatening my daughter. Well, I did say I would kill her if she or you tried to kill me or my friends. You happen to say maim, so I won't do anything to her, at least you are smarter than some of the jacks around here in this village. Naruto said nonchalantly, why do you even bother living here? You don't care about anybody but yourself. On second thought, I take that compliment back. I gave you too much credit to begin with. Kushina launched herself at Naruto, who blocked her attack. Ooh, I love a fast woman, Kushina growled and pushed forward to break the contact. Naruto skidded back and twirled himself to avoid Kushina's downward slash. Kushina twisted to give the Jinchuriki a kick in the chest, but Naruto caught her foot and threw her toward the tree. The Uzumaki corrected herself in midair to plant her feet on the trunk, quickly charging chakra to blow off the trunk with boosted speed. Naruto skillfully moved aside to let her pee into the ground. Ak, that has got to hurt, are you okay, we lie? Naruto commented as she came out of the crater. Don't mock me. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. A clone appeared beside her and she held out her hand while the clone spun her chakra in many different directions. How interesting, the Kage Bunshin only requires one hand sign and that orb, no doubt that it is the Rasengan. She gathered her chakra to a single point while the clone spun into many different directions. Well, aren't you useful, Lady Namikaze? Naruto thought to himself. Eat this. Rasengan. Naruto closed his eyes and opened them to reveal a burning red, nine-tails sonic roar. The Jinchuriki let loose a powerful roar, dispelling the destructive jutsu and pushing the Jonin into the ground. That's enough, Naruto said simply as he flashed past her and multiple delayed slashes appeared all over Kushina's body. Then Naruto grabbed her head and slammed it brutally into the ground a few times, making her face become covered with small pebbles, dirt and blood. Next, he dragged her by the foot all the way home in front of the whole populace and no one dared to intervene in fear of Naruto killing them. They knew that Kushina was humiliated at that point in time. Finally he reached the Namikaze household, knowing that he couldn't be able to get through. Naruto threw Kushina's unconscious body to let her land on the porch of the house through the roof. A few minutes later, Tokiko opened the door and looked at her mother and then she gasped as she looked at Naruto with his arms crossed. Next time, try to keep your mother on a leash. She is alive, but I could have killed her. I let her live because she amused me. I could care less if you are angry with me tomorrow and you are welcome to try and maim me tomorrow during the test. Tokiko said, why did I spare her? Are you deaf, woman? 1. She amuses me and 2. You are still a child and a child needs her mother. The day you cease to act like one is the day she will die by my hand. Naruto said as he disappeared once again. Tokiko looked at the spot that Naruto was at and gripped her fist to slam it strongly into the door, breaking it into splinters. Damn it, To-san, Ka-san, you are not making this any easier than it seems with your actions. How the hell I am supposed to save this damn family if you can't let go of your hatred of the Kyuubi, mother? She thought to herself. Hayate residence, again, Naruto appeared in front of the house and just as he touched the knob, Naruto-kun, he turned to see Makoto Uchiha in front of the house and said, Makoto-sama, what is it? I need to discuss some things with you in private, may I come in? The boy replied, sure, come on in and watch your step, several of the floorboards have been broken recently and I haven't recently replaced them yet. Makoto walked inside and sat herself on the couch while Naruto went into the kitchen to make some tea and fix the floorboards. As he fixed the floorboards with wood, hammer and nails, Naruto said, so, what would you like to discuss with me? The reason that you revealed my late husband's affair to me because of something that you wanted, right? Makoto questioned. Naruto grunted as he replaced two of the broken floorboards. Yes, that is correct. Would you like to collect that favor now? Makoto said hesitantly. Actually, as a matter of fact, yes, yes, I would. I only need one thing from you and that's. He paused momentarily as he saw Makoto shrugging off her robe to show her black lace bra. Naruto covered his eyes and turned. Makoto-san, what are you doing? Returning the favor. This is what you want, is it? The Jinchuriki laughed a bit and said, as much as I like the offer, but, no, this was not what I wanted. Makoto blushed as she covered herself up and the tea kettle went off, so Naruto moved away to get it. He poured some tea for himself and the Uchiha matriarch. What I want from you, Makoto-san, is to protect Ayane Uchiha, your niece from certain people that want to harm her. Ayane-chan, why? Naruto sighed, have you seen your son's change? Sadly, the Uchiha matriarch whispered, yes, the council and Fugaku's teachings have stuck with him, even though I paid more attention to him than Itachi. Several times in the academy, I found out that Sasuke had somehow known about my relationship with Ayane-chan and used her as the only way to spar with him. Since he is on that team along with that favoritizing bastard Kakashi Hatake, I feared that Ayane's life will be in danger, therefore I need you to protect her, this is all I ask. That is it. You don't want me to be your slave or anything. Makoto said incredulously. No, I don't want you to be my slave, you are a beautiful woman, Makoto-san. There is no doubt about that in my mind, but I rather have a willing partner than force one. It would make me worse that your former husband. Makoto teased, so you are attracted to me. Who wouldn't? You are strong, caring and pretty, though I wouldn't think that you would be attracted to me at all. Naruto replied calmly. Then Makoto set her tea down and sauntered up to him. You saved me from being naive and helped me with my revenge against Haruno. A demon would have never done that without something devious in return. For that, I am grateful to you. She grabbed his chin and planted a kiss on his lips. Naruto closed his eyes and returned it with gusto. He felt Makoto's tongue slide into his mouth and sent his own to dance with her. Then the two separated, both blushing, and Naruto said, well, thanks for taking care of the HLE of getting rid of my first kiss. You are welcome, Naruto-kun. The Sagasa stood up and said, is there anything else you would like to discuss with me? Yes, my son Itachi, did he tell you anything about why he makered the men? Naruto said as he clenched his fist. Yes, Sarutobi, Homura and Kaharu along with Danzo ordered them to kill the whole clan, but Danzo told him to leave the elderly and young ones alone since they had no part in it. Itachi left you two alive because he loves you too much as well as Sasuke. He also threatened if Sasuke was told, then he would release all of Konoha's dark secrets. Makoto said, so the elders and the Hokage were the ones who caused me to lose two sons in a single night. Yes, they took my blood brother away from me, so if they don't want me to get medieval, I won't tell Sasuke about it because then he would shift his attention on not just the elders, but all of Konoha, meaning he would kill everyone. Danzo, he was the one that left him with family, so he would probably lose an arm or something. I can't believe this. Your late husband and those who were killed were part of a conspiracy to overthrow the Hokage. Sarutobi managed to hear a rumor and sent Itachi to spy, knowing that he loves Konoha and Sasuke than his own clan itself. When Itachi confirmed it, Sarutobi ordered it. Some of them tried to innate both him and Danzo, but both survived. Danzo used the opportunity to implant their Sharingan in his arm. Makoto said, "Even though they were my family, I can understand Danzo. The Sharingan is a powerful tool to have." Exactly, so Danzo, in my opinion, is fine. The Uchiha matriarch replied, "Will he try to hurt us in any way?" "Only if you give him a reason to, like trying to destroy Konoha, but other than that, he could care less. I am a potential threat, but he knows that I can't because of the risk of my friends getting hurt." "I see. Well, thank you for telling me this. I will try to help you as much as possible." "Thanks, but keep yourself on the down low. I don't want any repercussions to happen and have you suffer on my behalf because of your help," Naruto said. Makoto nodded and left the house while Naruto went to sleep to get ready for his day as a ninja. Training Ground 44. Naruto and Anko. Naruto watched from above as Anko battled his clone and was able to get a stab in, dispelling the cone. Instantly the memories were transferred to Naruto and the boy whistled as he appeared on the scene. "I didn't know you could contort that way. I didn't know that you know the Kage Bunshin. When did you learn it?" Anko replied, "I will tell you sometime later. Now shall we continue later?" Naruto made the lance fly towards his hand and got into a stance. Anko pulled out a scroll and unsealed a broadsword with sections on it. "A chain whip sword, This should be interesting to see how good you are in it." Anko launched her whip sword at Naruto, making him dodge to the left and run at Anko. She quickly realigned it into its sword form and blocked Naruto's overhead strike. They jumped back with Naruto aimed to stab the woman, but Anko moved her head as after images of the wicked point came at her. The Snake Princess whipped at Naruto and the Kyuubi Jinchuriki moved from his ult to block it. A cut appeared on his cheek as Naruto smirked. Nice." Next, a cut appeared on Anko's cheek and she licked the blood off of her sword. "Your blood tastes so delicious. I don't know whether to be disturbed or turned on by that statement," Naruto said as he rushed at her and swung his lance at her, but Anko jumped and swung her sword at Naruto's head. He rolled forward as the tip struck the ground and rebounded towards his back, but he was protected by his weapon shield. "Damn, almost absolute defense," Anko muttered. Just then Naruto grabbed his lance and threw it at Anko, who dodged to the side to embed itself into Kakashi's chest. HMPH, I knew that son of a bitch would try something sooner or later. Looks like it was a reinforced Kage Bunshin. Naruto walked towards the clone and moved his headband up and then stabbed his Sharingan eye, making the clone dispel.